So we're going to do a little warm up standing up, and then we'll take it down to the floor, and we shall use the balls and or a towel today. So small ball workout. So let's just let the toes separate, let the weight be evenly distributed. You can have a little rock back and forth, little shift side to side, and just really sense the ball of the foot, the toe, the little toe, really finding yourself nice and centered. Knees are slightly soft. We want the feet facing forward so they're not turned out or in, and they're under your hip bones, so just right underneath you. And then underneath your hips, you want your hips underneath your shoulders and your shoulders underneath your ears, lengthening up nice and tall, but the knees are slightly soft. Hands are down by the sides as if they're in front of you. It tends to be because we've rounded and slumped a little bit. So pulling up tall. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. So you just literally squeeze it in and pull it backwards. And you hold your pelvic floor as if you're holding a wee, and it's a kind of a zipping up motion on the inside. So with all that done, let's take some nice deep breaths in for the nose, out for the mouth. So we're doing a few breaths just to practice. In and out. Feel your tummy, your diaphragm, your rib cage expand on the in-breath, on the out-breath, like you're squeezing a balloon and all the air's coming out. So try and make the breath from here, not just the back of the throat. One more deep breath. Lovely. Then normal length breath, still with that squeeze. And on the out-breath, tuck the chin in. Breathe in, lift the chin. Breathe out, tuck the chin. Squeeze the tummy, zip the pelvic floor. Palms forward, stretch the fingers, lift the chin. Breathe in, lift the chest slightly. Small arch in the upper back. And out. And in. And out. Let's use those arms. Reach up. And down. And up. And down. Little bend in the knees because we're going to swing those arms back. Chest to knees, let's swing all the way down. Breathe in. I've got new glasses, they stay on. One more. And back to centre, lovely. It's cold, cold, cold today. You've got snow, so I'm starting off in a jumper. So make sure you're nice and warm, get the body warm before you sort of start working out in a little vest top, and your muscles can be a little bit tight. And let's just do a circle with the nose. So little posture check again, feet under knees, knees under hips, hips under shoulders, shoulders under ears. Let's change direction, pulling up tall, pulling the belly in by squeezing it and zipping up the pelvic floor. Let's take the ear to the shoulder, draw these shoulders down and change and move with breath. Breathe and breathe out. And breathe in and out. Let's breathe in and hold as if someone's grabbing your ear and lifting you up. Lengthen, push this hand down, then with the fingers just gently lengthen. Let the other shoulder drop as well. Still keeping the posture nice and strong, and think, are you grounded? Are you feeling all of your foot in the floor so you're not rolling out or in? I have a tendency to roll in, so I have to think about my ankles, strengthen them and stand up straight. Rotate, look down. Very common with women, their arches are always often fallen and our feet like that. Men tend to be more on the outsides, don't know why. Just the way our feet work. It's not always like that, but it's quite common. And release, so strengthen. Let's change sides, ear to shoulder. Let's lift up and then lengthen, pushing this hand down and that shoulder. Nice strong ankles, feeling that strength and the activity run from the heels to the ankles, up the knees, up the hips, up the bodies. Everything is active. Squeezing the tummy in, rotate, look down, breathe. Oh, I'm warm now already. Probably got the heating on most of us, so just good to get that body ready, release. Lovely. Let's start with these arms. So we've got the arms in the waist, and be active. So your shoulders are down and your chest is slightly open and your fingers are stretched and stretched apart. So there's tension all the way through this arm rather than just here. This is fine, but you're going to work so much better if you open, squeeze, try and reach those thumbs back, squeeze the shoulder blades, and release. Lovely breathing. So shoulders back, chest is opening and stretching and close. And it's like you're holding a piece of paper under the top part of the armpit. So even though your elbows come away from the body slightly, you're trying to really squeeze the top part of your arms onto your body as if you cannot drop that paper. Lovely. And then again, breathe in, squeeze the tummy. Breathe out, really squeeze it and zip the pelvic floor up. So we try and really squeeze that tummy on the exhale. Lovely. Let's add a reach. Breathe in and reach. And then pull back, squeeze those elbows down and close. Lovely. And again. So we're getting some strength into these wrists and these fingers, probably using a mouse or a phone, or might be working with your hands. So anything that we're stretching these arms out. One more. And then let those hands relax. Hands a little bit more relaxed, so the fingers are not spread, they're relaxed, but still nice sort of tension, nice straight wrist. Shoulders are back and down. And we don't want the chest to lift up, so you're keeping this closed so that we can really work the mobility of these arms, shoulders, elbows. Breathing in here, breathe out, rotate down. Your elbows stay the same height, hands lower. Breathe. Let's do one arm at a time, and let's add a head. So right arm down, look over that shoulder, and breathe in. And out. And imagine you're pressing on a lever, create your resistance, push the shoulder down, push the elbow, push the hand. So the whole is a feeling of pressing down on everything, even though you're not dropping the elbow. Lovely. Breathe in, breathe out, squeeze that tummy. On that out breath, draw those pelvic floor muscles up. Hold both arms up here, reach back. Shoulders down, rib cage stays down. And release, lovely. I'm going to do spine twists and bits on the floor. We'll warm up the arms and shoulders, not too much for the upper body shoulder work this week. We did a lot of that last week. I really felt it. Circle, doing all those isometric holds. Good for, I really felt that after. Burnt a lot of calories as well. It's like 300, surprising. Reverse. It's a bit more dynamic and flowing today. And elbows, hands, rotate round, which gets some mobility into these wrists. And then we're going to do our little wave. So we're stretching, stretch and bend of the wrist basically. And now, just to make your brain go other way. Once you, I find if I sort of pull it over and then reverse, it's fine. If I stop, I can't do it. It's just good for the brain. Lovely. And release. Push down. And reverse. And keep reversing. Stretching those fingers. Stretching the wrists. Taking it up. All the way up. Whilst we're here, little add-on. Squeeze the tummy. Very small bend. Feel more that you're lifting your shoulder up rather than tipping sideways. We're not quite warming the spine up yet. And the other way. So small tip and feel that you're lifting up out of this shoulder. So it's like someone's grabbing your arm and pulling it. Just a little stretch into the shoulders. Release, pull it down, hands to me, head down, round the back. Separate those shoulders. Push those hands forward. Chin tucks in. And release. Lovely. We are going to do now a little side bend. You can either have your hands here, you can have your hands to support you, or we're going to move them around. So let's just start with a small bend, squeezing the tummy, seeing how that feels. So it's often the side, I find the side I'm not bending is the one where I feel the most pressure on the back, the most sort of stretch. Everyone's going to be different. See how you feel. Next time I'm going to add some arms. So I'm going to reach up and over. And release, nice and fluid one. So we reach out slightly, reach up and over again, supporting if you need it. Let's use some breath. Release back to centre, lovely, good stuff. Okay, a little bit of warming up more for the wrists and shoulders, but not too much. Let's flick them up and down. I'm going to do a little bit of work on all fours with the ball, but not too much today. Not a lot of upper body work. Keep them here, circle them out. Let's get those shoulders warm. Nice big circles, you'll make them a bit slower. Really big. And then let's bring them forward but small circles. Keep those wrists flexed and then make them bigger. We can slow down a bit and bigger and bigger. So we're really working into the shoulders. Try and keep your ribs down. Don't let your spine get involved. Just release. Then we're going to take our hands up and as if we're polishing the ceiling, circle, circle, circle. Keep your shoulders down, so don't let them shrug up, let them down. Just circle, circle bigger. Lovely. Let's reverse small circles. Clean the ceiling. Squeeze the tummy. That will stop you from lifting up too high. Keeping that chest down. Bigger circle. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's let the arms down. Just give them a little crossover, a little release. Wonderful. So, making sure, just in case you weren't here at the beginning, we're going to be using a ball today. It's just a Pilates ball. They're not blown up to full capacity so that you can squash them, sit on them, lean on them. If you don't have a ball, you can do it without. I will give options. It just means it won't be as challenging to balance. But all I've done is literally rolled up a very small towel, not a massive towel. So it's folded in half once and again, and then rolled it up. You want it to be quite, not too long, if you know what I mean, not too long and flat, quite small and compact, so you can squeeze it, and if you're kneeling on it, it's going to be quite a height, so it'll be uneven. I shall leave that there. Okay, I'm going to do some roll downs now. Take this off, and then I shall alter my camera angle once I get to the floor. So imagining we have a wall behind us here, and then we are peeling off the wall and rolling down, so we're not leaning forward. Again, let's have a little posture check, feet forward, activate those ankles, squeeze the tummy in, shoulders back, breathe in. Again, feel really strong and tall in this position, and then your chin tucks in, and then your shoulders round. And then it's like someone's grabbed your arm and is pulling it, so round the shoulders, really round, until they can't round anymore. Squeeze the tummy, pull it in, and let the head relax, and then start to bend from the hips and flex, and start to stretch the legs. Nice and loose and floppy, head is relaxed, arms are relaxed, toes are relaxed. Breath in at the bottom, breathe out, same thing. Imagine someone's grabbed your arm, you're trying to pull yourself up, so you're rounding, taking your spine, stacking it back on top. Keep your hips underneath you. Slowly stack, 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 and up, tall, and again, breathe in. Breathe out, chin down, round, scoop the belly, heavy arms, as if you're trying to take your nose towards your knees. Round, 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 round. Again, if you need to, support yourself, bend the knees, do what your back is happy with. Breath in at the bottom, breathe out, curl up. Listen to your body, don't worry about me or how far or my position. It's just a reference point. If you can't get that far, don't do it. Lovely. Next one, we're going to roll down, come to all fours. I'm just going to switch my camera. Hair's gone a bit mad. Rolling down. I'm going to keep my feet tucked under in this position with the toes tucked under, just to push back slightly, just a little bit of pressure on those toes, just to stretch them. Again, if it's not comfortable, just release. Shoulders back and down. Breathing in and out. Release the feet. Let's sit back into child pose. Just let your arms come behind you, round the shoulders, and relax. And coming up, lovely. So just a little bit of stretching out the back. We're going to open the knees. And this is like we're arching around in the back. So when I reach forward, I'm trying to stick my bottom up in the air, so I'm arched. So here is the arch. And then I'm going to tuck the tailbone under to pull back, pull the tummy in, and come back up and sit up tall. So you breathe in, stretch, pushing down, so you open up your shoulders. Breathe out, bottom towards the feet, round the back, and drag the arms up. So you get a really nice waking up of those abdominals, and we are arching and round in the back. Basically a cat stretch, but just done slightly differently because we're doing a little bit on all fours, so I didn't want to spend too long there. One more. Nice and fluid. Wonderful. Give these wrists just a little stretch. Good, so we shall go straight into being on all fours. And again, if you don't like the ball, or you don't have one, or you don't want to do it, you can just completely do without. But, so, what I'd like to do is on all fours, and you've got your arm under your shoulder, knees under your hip. I'm just going to take the ball and place it under the leg. I would have the toes down to start with. If they're totally off, you're really wobbly. And I tend to have it sort of just below the knee, so if you've got your knee on it, it's really wobbly. If you've got a bit more of a flat part of your leg, a bit better. Again, you could do exactly the same thing on a towel. It's still going to push you off balance. You might not find it comfortable with either, so you can just be flat. But let's get the ball under the left knee. And we're trying to start with a balanced position as much as we can. So your hands, you're pulling apart slightly, imagining that you are, and that engages the shoulders. You can see the shoulders relax, the shoulders engage. Push the shoulders back away from your ears, long neck. And then let's start with just sliding the right leg back, squeezing the bottom and bring it in. So let's not lift yet, let's just have a practice of sliding it back. You are slightly tipped because your knee's on a ball, but try and imagine you've got a cup of tea on your back and you don't want to spill any more of it. It's already slightly tipped up. Bring it in. Okay, let's lengthen, squeeze and lift. And again, if you lift too much, you're going to start to rotate. So the idea is to keep really, really central. Lengthen and lift. Squeeze the bottom. Bring it down. Breathe in, lengthen and lift. Open the back of that knee, lengthen that leg. If you think you can try, you can take the foot out and have it just floating in the air. You're really going to notice a difference. You're really having to balance here, so slowly, slowly. The more buoyant your ball is, the harder it is. It's a particularly buoyant one, and that's my excuse. This is tough, I haven't done this in a while. I think I'll have my foot here, but just slightly resting on the floor. Lengthen, lift and squeeze. Squeeze the tummy. Don't let your tummy and your back drop. Keep it up. Let's do one more. Release. Wonderful. Oh, let's release. I can really, really feel that. So if you're not using a ball or a towel and you are on all fours, you may want to lift an arm as well, because it's probably not that much of a challenge for you just lifting one leg. But do work at your level. I'm going to switch legs. Let's get this ball under the other knee. Again, just below the knee. I'm going to use this back foot to anchor, have my legs at the same place, shoulders away, hands apart, neck is long. Let's just slide back, slide and squeeze and bring in. Breathe in. The key is to be slow and not let any of the other bits collapse or fall down. You've got to be strong in those shoulders. Breathe in. And out. Lovely. And again. Lengthen that neck. Feel those shoulders pushing away from your ears. Can we lift that leg this time? Lengthen back. Squeeze, lift. Again, it's not high, it's lengthening, as if someone's grabbed your leg and is pulling it backwards. And bring it down. So it's nice and slow. Breathe in. Squeeze the tummy, don't arch the back. Lovely. I'm going to release the foot now. See if I can do it without that stability. Woo! This is tough. I still haven't done this in a while. I'm just going to have the toes down for a slight anchor. 2 more. Squeeze and lengthen. Squeeze the tummy. Last one. Release. Well done. Release that ball. Give those arms, wrists a little stretch, a little rest. Wonderful. So I'm going to do a little bit of work for the upper back. So this is for mobility in the upper back and a little bit of strength work. If you do have a roller, one of you was asking me earlier, you could use your roller for this one. Bowl or roller or none, we're going to do exactly the same exercise. So your legs are just behind you on the mat, just totally relaxed. So if you had no equipment, you're purely just going to have your arms in front of you. You're going to slide them back and you're just going to lift up slightly, but without squeezing your bum and pushing on your knees or your hands. So it's just a small lift up and down. That's no equipment. Ball or roller. If you've got your roller, your hands are over the edge of it. Your ball, hands over the edge of it. You've got your wrists on the ball, and the key is straight arms. It isn't bringing the arms in and out, it's just relaxing. Squeeze and lift. So the ball just gives you a slight bit of momentum. Keep your chin down. Squeeze the belly in, don't push on the floor. Breathe in. Really think shoulders back, then lift. Otherwise you'll lift like this and you're going to hurt your shoulders. So pull the shoulders back, small lift and lower. So you breathe in, shoulders back. Breathe in, don't push your belly into the floor. So we're getting extension in the back here. When you breathe in, your abdomen is full of air. It's called intra-abdominal pressure. It's good, it protects your insides, your muscles. But you mustn't push on the belly. Pull back. Breathe in. It makes sense to breathe in and lift. You're full of air. When you breathe out, you're down here. You don't want to try and breathe in when you're flat. You're squashing everything. You can't get the breath. Okay, I'm going to add on a leg. You can't see my feet very well. I'm just going to lift an alternate leg. I'm moving forwards. So, feet down, lift up. I go down, my right leg lengthens, squeeze the bottom, lift a few inches, breathe in, legs lower, lift. So when you're up, your legs are down. When you're down, left leg comes up. So you're kind of bending and flexing. You're always bent and curved at one end. And continue, breathe in, lift, shoulders back. Breathe out, lower leg, lift. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. Making sure your chin's not here. Keep looking down at that floor, but don't drop the chin. You kind of just feel, I keep talking and lifting my leg while I'm lifting. I can't concentrate. Lower, lift the leg. One more. Lovely stuff. That's given us a nice little bit of opening up of those shoulders. Another one to open up the shoulders with, and again you could do the same on a roller or a ball or a towel. If you have a towel, just have it long ways between your shoulder blades. If you have a roller, you can lie on it literally and lean over the back of it. Right, we're just going to use a little ball. So I'm just going to let myself come down. It's between my shoulder blades so that I can pull my balls, they roll away. Here we go. It's just so I can support the back of my head, link the hands together, let that head support so it's heavy, and it's just literally an upper back stretch. Again, it's kind of going with what we've just done. So your upper back is leaning over the ball. You might find you're comfortable enough to come all the way to the floor. but you might not. It's quite a deep stretch, so do listen, don't overstretch it, because then you can hurt the next day by stretching all these muscles too much. There's a lot of muscles going on here, intercostal ones between your ribs. You suddenly bend back like that, you don't want to hurt one of them. And let's release it slightly. And again. So you can rejig yourself about, you could roll up the ball a bit so the ball's a little bit going towards your lower back, not that far. Again, you've just got to see how your body feels, what you're comfortable with, where you get your sort of best stretch. Your elbows are back, so we're opening up the chest. Just a really nice stretch, especially if with winter and all our colds, we should open up, you know, open up our lungs, getting some nice breaths in. Okay, gently close the elbows, come up. Okay, I'm going to start sitting, and I'm going to put a ball or a towel just between the knees. The idea is we can squeeze it. So it's just sort of the thighs, that's not quite the kneecaps, have it just, you know, in the thighs really. It just makes you squeeze a bit more because it's a bit more wobbly. And we are here, so we're pulling up nice and tall. The feet are hip width apart, and let's take some breaths in. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, start to think of the breath in, you pull up, breathe out, round. And you can feel your tailbone is sort of flicking back that way. Turn it under. So you breathe in, turn it under. It's like a pelvic tilt. And we start leaning back. We can release, don't stop squeezing with that ball. You can release the hands if you want. Let's hold here. So we're just engaging the abdominals, but I just want to squeeze the ball with the knees. Hold on if you need to, otherwise squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep your toes on the floor and the ball of your foot. Relax your shoulders. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down and bring the knees in. So I want to work the 100 with the legs up. If you've got any issues with your lower back, maybe just take the feet down. We are going to be lifting, pumping the arms, strong wrists, and we breathe in for 5, out for 5. But I'm going to slightly add on, that's a real, if you've got back issues. Otherwise, keeping the legs up. We want to try not to be here. We want to try and squeeze the knees and be knees over hips and 90-degree angles if you can. If you need to, just bring in slightly, but that's where we want to be. Okay, lift the head and shoulders up. Hold in here. Pull that belly in, flatten the back in the floor. I'm going to do half like this, and I'm going to slowly start to straighten my legs. Okay, so you breathe in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. If you can, straighten the legs and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Last time in, last time out, and release. Well done. Little rock from side to side. Bring your knees in. Let's come back up to sitting. And I'm going to keep the ball in the knees. I'm going to move slightly so I've got a bit more space. Keeping the knees, legs more or less, well, wherever they need to be to squeeze the ball. If they're too far apart, they won't. Trying to pull up really tall. If you're finding it really hard to sit up, bend the knees slightly, because we want to not be here and you might find you're a bit far back. So bend the knees slightly if you need to. Pop a small towel under your bottom, or if you can, legs down. And it sounds funny, but you can almost sort of pull yourself underneath, sort of pull your cheeks underneath yourself, and you sort of feel like you've sat up properly. Squeeze with your knees. Hands are here. Again, if that's too much, hands across the chest. Otherwise, Breathe and rotate. So we've got a spine twist, but we've got a knee squeeze. Squeeze that ball. Come back to centre. Squeeze, rotate. Feeling that happen. So don't let your elbows overtake each other. So what I mean is don't bend them. Okay, stay back as if you've got a broom stuck in there, like a broom handle, so you can't move them. Squeeze the legs. Breathe in, rotate. Breathe out, centre. Breathe in, lengthen, rotate. Breathe out, centre. Squeeze those thighs. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going to add on slightly and take this to the saw, which you can take the arms out. Now we rotate, and it's like you're sawing your little toe off. Reach down, come up, rotate. Obviously I've got a wall, keep your arms straight, and down. So what I also want to do, as well as this sawing motion, this back arm, turn your hand down and then look down. So I'm looking down at my legs, sort of slightly behind me. So lift up straight and turn, breathe in, breathe out, saw. Breathe in, rotate and tall and squeeze, and out, saw. So it's rotating the spine, lengthening the spine, working the muscles, getting some flexibility in the legs and working those inner thighs. Once more each side. Wonderful. And release. Give the legs a little shake. So just let's do this one. You might struggle with a towel. I think you better do it. Right, so let's get the arms first. So your ball is under your elbows and your arms together. So you could probably do the same with a towel. You would just, I suppose, yeah, you can almost do exactly the same. So this means you're having to engage your muscles by pulling the ball down. That's it. Shoulders back, and you've got to try and keep hold of that ball. So same position. You can either have your legs bent if you need to, or we're just going to lean straight back. Pull the tummy and come up. So this isn't a curl. This is straight back. Squeeze and lift. Come straight back. Squeeze the tummy. So your back is totally straight. So there's no arch back and there's no curl back. It's just backwards. You've got to be stiff as a board. Again, if you need to, have your knees bent. This is kind of like a very small sit up, but not going all the way. As you come up, push down. Let's hold back and rotate and centre and rotate. So it's nice because of the ball or the towel is there. You can't over twist, but you get a really good spinal rotation. You're working your obliques. Squeeze that tummy in. And 4 and 3. Breathing. And 2 and 1. And release. Let's roll all the way down. Oh, lovely. Okay, so I want to now have the ball underneath the small of the back. So if you do have a roller, you can do the same. Have the roller long ways, but you need to make sure it's on your tailbone so that your body is like that on the roller. You do not want a roller underneath you like that, or a ball. So it's on your tailbone enough so that it's tucking you into a little C shape, so you can quite comfortably lift your legs. It's like wedging your lower back down. The back's off the floor. That is what we're doing. Alternatively, no ball, no roller, you can do. What? Yeah, I can't really do a roller class with all of you, so you haven't got rollers. But pull the tummy in, and let's have that tailbone under. Let's just start with lifting one leg, seeing how that feels. You might think, oh, I'm going to slip off, just readjust a little bit. So, neck is long, hands are down, tuck that chin in, squeeze the tummy. Just a few breaths here. So is your knee 90 degrees, it's over the hip, it doesn't come in. And also you want this nice parallel foot and leg to the floor. Let's lower that leg down. So it's nice and easy. We're going to build, and the other one. So if you're feeling anything, stick with this. Otherwise, we're just going to keep adding on and on and on. And again, the neck and shoulders are staying down, so that's going to be relaxed. We're just really challenging all the core muscles. Squeeze that tummy in. Don't sort of let that want it to come up. Squeeze it in. And lower. Lovely. Okay, let's bring up the right leg again. Can we just maybe do a couple of circles? So imagine you've got a paintbrush on top of your knee and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. I don't know where my music's gone. Sort that out in a minute. Stick with your paintbrush, painting your circles. Isn't that weird how it just turns itself off? Oh. There we go. Let's change direction with your knees. Lengthen the neck, relax the shoulders, squeeze the tummy. Lovely. Let's put that foot down. Let's change sides. So remember, the tailbone is tucking under. Draw that belly in. Lift the leg. Get your balance. Shoulders down, hands down. Chin tucked in. Small circles. 1. So the key is this other leg isn't wobbling all over the place. We're trying to be absolutely still. Change direction with that knee. So get a little bit of hip mobility with this. It's challenging the balance. And release. Good. Let's lift that right leg up again. So let's take the left arm up. So it should be not too challenging. Again, work at your level. Can we take the right arm up? Can we lengthen that leg? Don't worry if it's not straight, just as straight as you can get it. Can you do circles now? So as you're doing your circle, think, am I gripping with my other foot? Is it, where's the control coming from? Are you feeling you're pushing in your hips, your tummy? Are you pushing in one shoulder? Reverse, change direction. Or do you generally feel this is where it should be? Try not to grip on the foot or the other shoulder, and that's what you want. Lovely, release. Let's change sides. Knee in. One arm, sorry. Other arm. Then lengthen as much as you can, doesn't matter if it's slightly bent, circle. So note the difference, now you've changed leg. Also chucking that chin in still, or your shoulders pushed in the floor. Keeping the other knee still, change direction. Squeeze the tummy, this is what's going to stop you from falling off the ball, or the towel, or the roller. And release, good. Just going to really start moving these arms and legs around now. So, my watch just spoke to me and it scared me. Right, leg up. Let's go for 2 legs. Lifting them up. Very gently, legs them in. Again, doesn't matter if they're a bit bent. Can we take them away slightly? And bring them in. They can be straight. Away slightly, not too much, because if you take them too low, you're going to arch the back. Pushing the lower back to the floor, feeling that C shape. So it extends from the legs, but nothing comes from the tummy. You're not changing your shape. So you can stretch them as much as you want, as long as your back isn't changing shape. If you're finding that really tough, you could always just do one leg at a time. Okay, a couple more here. Lovely. Can we do circles with both feet? So painting on the ceiling. Try not to grip with these hands. Might have to keep it small. Change direction. Good, lovely. So, little combination. Open the feet, close, criss, cross, centre. Open the feet, close, criss, cross. Instead of just a normal crisscross, I'm going to actually cross in front, cross behind, so centre. So open, close, criss, cross. Let's add on. So open, 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 open for 4, and then criss, cross, criss, cross. You can take the feet a bit further away and criss, cross, criss. Let's add on some arms, optional. Can we add an arm? Let's see how we feel when we're still. And then take 2 arms. If 2 arms is too much, just keep one on the floor. We're going to slow it down a bit. Open, close. Challenging when those hands are gone. Open, close, open, close. Squeeze the tummy. Can we crisscross? This is the challenge. Criss, cross, criss, cross, criss, cross. Again, open, close. I'm taking it a bit further away. Again, up to you. 1, woo, 2, keep that chin down. 3, squeeze. 4, crisscross the legs last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Knees in. Take the ball or the roller out. And relax. Let's bring one knee in, lengthen the leg away. Roll that knee around. Wow, that has whizzed by. I've got 15 minutes left. Change direction. Hold onto this knee a bit tight, Leah. Oh, shut up, Siri. Lengthen that leg. I don't know why it keeps thinking I'm asking him things. I'm not. I'll have to work out how to turn it off when I'm when I'm teaching or exercising. It goes off all the time. It's my new Apple Watch. I've got getting it for my birthday. Very excited by it. Pull the knee across. Does everything. It's so clever, but sometimes too clever because it doesn't shut up. Let's just look right and left. I want to add on to this stretch, and again you might feel the ball can help you with this, so making sure I've got room. I'm going to take my right arm out to the side. That's the same one that my knee is. Whatever knee you got in, have your arm out. And then I'm just going to slightly roll over. So you might find the ball under the knee just to support it. We're trying to keep the shoulder down. You might find that you're happy your legs sort of hanging there. You might find your knee reaches the floor, but if not, the ball's a nice little support somewhere on that leg. We're really getting a stretch in this back. You're stretching this shoulder, look into the hand and use this hand to pull over. It usually feels very tight around here, so gently you can rock into it and out of it. Let's release gently. So I'm going to switch sides. So let's start by pulling the left leg or your other leg in. Lengthen this one away so we're stretching our hip flexors. Haven't done too much of that today, so a little stretch of the hip flexors is fine. Relax the shoulders, long neck, pull that leg in and lengthen the other one away. Breathing in. Rotate side to side. Back to centre, pull the knee across, don't roll yet, we're just stretching the hip. Wow, 230 calories so fast, isn't it? People don't think Pilates works you out, but you can burn as much as in Pilates sometimes you can doing a long hour walk. Right, left hand to the side, right hand gently pulls over. Again, if you've got your something to support the leg if you want it, or just let it hang. Try and keep the shoulder down, the left one, and look over to the left as much as your neck allows. We get a little rock back and forth into it. And release. Come back to centre. Lovely. So gently, let's bring ourselves up to sitting. Can have a little rock. In fact, before we do that, grab the knees, lift your head and stretch the upper back. And then we can rock up into sitting. So I want to stretch the hamstrings out. So we're going to do a couple of different exercises. So pulling up tall, try and have these legs straight. Again, that sort of trick of scooping your bum under does really help. I'm going to use the ball for this. It's purely for momentum, so you can just use your hands. But pulling up tall, and then I'm just going to roll the ball and roll myself with it. Breathing in, breathe out, roll back. Breathe in, breathe out, roll down. Again, you could just have your hands placed wherever works for you. Breathing, coming up, and let's go down one more. If you can, flex those feet, just breathe into it. Lovely. Let's bring in the right leg. So instead of having the legs forward, I'm going to have one leg out a little bit more. So more in a V shape. Again, if that's too much on your hips, just bring it back in. I'm just again using the ball to be dynamic, but you don't need it. So I've got my right knee bent and my right foot into my left thigh. So I'm going to turn over towards the right thigh and look behind me. I can use this hand to just get a little twist. Grab the knee, twist you round, then reach that arm up behind, reaching up. So at the moment, looking up into that hand, into the eye of the elbow, as if I was going to draw up all the way to that foot. This underneath hand can now relax, and you might find the ball's quite nice to help reach into it. Again, it's really just a little prop. And let the neck relax, look down. You might find you prefer the ball here, just to give you a bit of support really. And can you flex that foot? And then turn the chest to face the legs, so we're now lengthening. And again, you might find, just gives you something to lean on, so your head is supported a little bit. Use it however works for you. Again, I've got my foot flexed, but it's just because I'm increasing my stretch. You don't have to, you might find just reaching with it here. Relax this knee. You might find just reaching is enough, or the hands here is just enough. If you can grab that foot, you can flex it, good stuff. Let's release, let's switch sides. I've got my left foot into my right leg, holding here. That's it, and I'm going to reach behind me. Getting a nice twist in the shoulder, pushing back, reaching in. Let's take this arm up. Really think of stretching up, stretching up, stretching up. And just gently let that hand relax. And let it just keep going. Let the arm and the hand just keep going. You can let your gaze come down, let that neck relax. Just let that arm keep going as much as it can. Just get a lovely stretch. Just find that space. Breathing into it, falling into it. You might see where your hands and your toes are. Then let's rotate the shoulders so we're facing the leg. And then we might find we want to use this or for support for your body. If your back's feeling a bit, leaning that much far forward, you can always have cushions and balls and bits around you to help with these stretches if you ever need the support. You're thinking of taking your nose to your knee. You can have a little flex of that foot if that's what your foot wants to do. Wherever you're supposed to be, that is where you should be. Breathe and release. Wonderful. Let's lie ourselves down. together. And then bring your feet into your bottom, lifting your heels, and just let them sway gently. And then again, a ball is good for this, or your towel if you need it, because you can. You're going to let the legs fall to one side. You can always have it there to support you, and then when you feel comfortable you can remove it. So just be mindful of just flinging those legs over. Both shoulders down, knees to the right, let's look to the left. Gently head back to centre. Let's let those knees gently go the other side. And looking down the arm. And then gently return to centre. Just have a little stretch of our shoulders. So just letting yourself be in neutral position. Hands down by your sides, just gently take your arms up and over. And bring them down very gently. So just float up and over. This time we hold them here, let them, if you can, rest them down. And then can you grab your elbows, and then same thing, take the arms back as far as they'll go. Again, this is the sort of thing where your ball or a towel could come in really handy, because you might find you need them to rest on something if they're not going to go all the way back. And then just a little move from side to side, so it's like you've got a square of elbow around your head, and just pull your head into your corners. Don't worry if your arms aren't flat on the floor. If you're here, just move side to side. It's just getting some movement. Then let's bring them up and down. And don't worry if you can't reach your elbows. Do it where it works, grabbing the wrist. I want to try and do a circle. So you're coming down like you're holding a baby. Chuck the baby over your head. Not the best visual there, Lisa. Sorry. Couldn't think of what to say. You know what I mean? It's that sort of rockabye baby thing, isn't it? And then way over the head. Other way, changing direction, 2 more. You might feel a bit of clicking in your joints and your ligaments. That's all fine, lovely. Straighten the arms up again over the head. And then I'm going to create a W shape with my arms. I'm trying to bring them down, my elbows to my waists. So I'm drawing a W. Elbows, doesn't matter if they're not reaching the floor, just try and stretch them, get these wrists on the floor, the elbows on the floor, keep trying to bring them down. A few breaths. Lovely, let's gently release. Come into a comfortable position for you to relax. So you might have a pillow under the back of your knees or your feet, or be in this position. Just gently find a position, keeping the eyes open for a moment. I'm just going to talk us through a nice little cool down. Okay, so just closing, keeping your eyes open. Take a nice deep breath in for the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more deep breath in, out through the mouth, close the eyes. And then let your breath just be through the nose. Just gentle, just breathing in and out at your own rhythm. And just sensing your tummy rise and fall and your chest rise and fall. And just having a scan of your body. How does it feel? Starting at your head, is it into the floor? Is there any tension? Just a little scan and a little bit of awareness of how you're lying into the mat, down the neck and shoulders, down the body. Just, if you're not quite comfortable, just shift into a place that is, scanning down into the tummy, down the hips. How do they feel? How does your legs feel on your knees? And just be aware of anything particularly relaxed or tense. And into the feet. And then imagining inside your chest a tiny, tiny pinprick of light. Tiny, so small. And it's beaming light through this tiny little pinprick in your chest. And that light is bringing well-being and happiness and contentment. And that light is starting to shine brighter, and the pinprick is getting bigger. And that little pinprick is turning into a hole. And it's starting to fill your whole chest with this lovely, wonderful light, bringing well-being, contentment, happiness. Now your chest is bursting with this light. And this light is starting to travel up through your neck, into your face, down your arms, down your body. The light is coming through the legs, through the knees, through the ankles and the feet. So this light is just filling your entire body. And now it can start to come out of the body and start to think of it filling up the room that you're in. You're just beaming out with this light, this warmth, this happiness, well-being, positiveness. And if you want, let your mind take it further. Your light can leave the room. It can start to spread through your house. Can it leave your house out into the night sky, into your village, into your town? You take it as far as you want to. And then when you can't go any further, you just let your mind settle here. And then we start to bring some awareness back to the body. Just a little scan again from the toes upwards, so we can wiggle those toes. A little wiggle of the ankles and of the feet. And then think of movement in the knees and up in the hips. You can have a little rock side to side, let the knees sway a little bit. And then let's wiggle these fingers and circle the wrists. We can have a stretch, take the arms up above the head. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Let's bring one knee into the chest at a time. A little roll around, still keeping those eyes closed, just bringing your awareness back into your room, into the body. Roll over on your right hand side, keeping those eyes closed if you can, and come into child pose just for a moment. Gently open the eyes, just letting that light come in. Hands here. Let's come to a comfortable seated position. We'll have a little breath to finish. Well done. Breathe in. Breathe out, and again. And relax. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out, arms back, and give yourselves a clap. Thank you so much. Well done, everybody.